Welcome to this episode of the Comedy Defect podcast. My name is Winter, I'm a comedian, and this is my show. Those that are new to the show, welcome. Those that are old to the show, thanks for coming back again, guys. This is episode 103. I'm just going to be a very short intro as well, because I've had a lot of stuff happen in this month, and I just managed to get this one under the wire. So this is not to take anything away from this episode. It's an absolutely excellent episode with the amazing comedian Ben Briggs. Now, I'll tell a bit about Ben. He is sort of on a darker kind of, I hate to use the word edgy because it just comes with stupid connotations now, but he has kind of like a heart behind his kind of stuff. He's always got a point to say, and he's got some really great insights into his bits and his comedy, and I just talked to him for about an hour or so on this podcast. He's a really great comedian. If you ever see him on a bill, go and check him out. He's absolutely excellent, and he takes a lot of risks as well. It's never the same show every time you see Ben. So that's Ben Briggs. You can find him on his website, which is benbriggs.co.uk. He also has his own podcast, The Ben Briggs Show. So go check that out. He's in like the 200s episode mark now at this stage. So not going to say much more about this intro. If you like the podcast and you want to donate, you can. Go to Patreon, type in the Comedy Defect Podcast and donate as much as you feel this podcast is worth. And if you can't donate, that's okay. Just tell your friends about your favorite episode because it tells people where we are and what we're up to. And you can follow me. I'm on social media at Winter Dominus on Instagram, Facebook. We also have a Facebook page for the Comedy Defect, and we also have a group as well. You can join that. And I say, share your favorite episode, like it, go to Patreon if you want. If not, look, just enjoy this episode 103 with the excellent comedian Ben Briggs. Ben Briggs, thank you for coming on the Comedy Defect. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks. Just getting through it, mate. Just kind of waiting it out, mate. It's just glad that spring has kind of started to kind of thaw a little bit. My mental state is getting a little bit better. I think that the sun is starting to come out now, and it's not as cold.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way, mate, to be perfectly honest. Exactly the same way.
So what have you been doing?
Well, like any other stand-up, very fucking little, mate. Lying to myself that I'm going to do a load of writing. I'm working a day job now. Yeah, so things have changed a lot in the last year since since the world has gone a bit fucked up.
What's the day job now?
I'm just working for a supermarket.
Oh, yeah?
That's what I'm doing.
How is that?
Fucking awful. As anything is like that, isn't it? Just pretty awful. I work in the online department. But, right. Yeah, it's not the rock and roll lifestyle that we're used to, is it, mate?
That's true, man. That's true. But like, so any particular one? Is it the one that ends in O, or is it the one that ends in Y, or is it a posh one?
Oh, it's just Sainsbury's.
Oh, right.
I work for them. Yeah, I don't mind saying, mate, to be honest. You know me, I don't mind saying. You know, I'm not worried about recriminations or anything like that.
Fine.
Yeah, I work for them. I work in the online department, just loading the vans. So
right.
I start early in the morning and I'm finished by about 10:30. It's not too bad. It's money to tick over, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
so.
it.
Which is what we've all got to do at the minute, really.
Have you managed to squeeze out any material out of this stuff?
No.
It's not funny.
Yeah, it's not funny.
Oh, shit.
It's not funny at all.
Oh, man.
It's a slog. It's getting up at like 1 o'clock in the morning, going in for 2 o'clock, leaving off at 10:30, and I find I can wring no comedy out of it whatsoever.
Like, in fairness, it would be okay if you work day shifts, but it's like night shifts are absolutely debilitating.
Yeah, it's tiring. It is tiring. I literally woke up about half an hour ago. What about yourself? How you getting on?
I'm surviving, man. I'm surviving. Like, just managed to kind of like just adapt, really. You know, I've got a part-time job. I've always been freelance anyway, and so it's kind of like hasn't really changed a huge amount. It's just a place I go to work in. Like, it's like all the kind of like sanitizing everything. I'm more or less a fire risk when I walk home, you know, or whatever. It's just, but it's all right, man. My job hasn't really changed because I work mostly from home. You know, it's like IT sort of based stuff. So I'm kind of like a bit blessed that way. And my wife works from home anyway, so I don't. Right. It's not. In fairness, like she was already agoraphobic at this stage. So like, you know, I mean, I'm the one.
Worked like a charm, then.
Mate, this is like, you know, as you know, when they do the old news jack thing. It's been a bad week for lockdown, a good week for agoraphobics.
Yeah.
You know? But I've been organizing stuff, man, and just kind of like just getting stuff in order. I don't know why. Just been kind of getting stuff like kind of where it should be, you know, like even organising gig lists of venues and where are they
Right.
going to go in the Excel document. Okay, that's where everything is go. Okay, that's fine. That's when it's ready. I can just maybe get motor on. I wrote some jokes last night as well. I took some. I was like, oh my god, I remember what this was like, and I spent about maybe a couple of hours just putting some stuff together, But for when kind of I just felt a bit more positive yesterday. I don't know why. I think I
Yeah,
said
for the after times, just putting something in the bank,
yeah.
ready to hit the ground running when it all kicks up again.
Exactly, just kind of proving to yourself that you can write jokes again. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, great. So I was really pleased about that. I was like, oh, great, this is still kind of flowing still, and not, wasn't really just where it kind of left off. But
Yeah.
yeah, apart from that, man, just I've cleared out a garage, I've cleared out a fucking shed. There's this Facebook group which is called Dull Men's. Is it Dull Men's Facebook group or something like that, right?
Right.
Chris Deuce, who we share a birthday, put me in contact with it because I put up a post during the summer last year when the dustbin lid came off and I kind of basically retrofitted a hinge on the old fucking dustbin.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
took a picture of the fucking thing, and like he was like, "You'd do really well in this group, this Dull Men's Facebook group." I was like, "Oh, thanks, mate." So I got into it, like organizing sheds, and like got myself a little tool tidy where I put in loads of fucking nuts and bolts and fucking washers and shit. And I didn't go too far. I didn't go start labeling the drawers, but I was nearly there,
Right.
Ben. I was fucking nearly there, mate. I was like, easy, Winter, easy. I got the daughter to myself and the daughter were just putting stuff together, kind of like I was like, right, you put that, like organizing stuff. It was great, and
Yeah.
then so put it into the shed then. But I was like, right, well, I've actually bought a labeler, but maybe that's something for this summer, mate. It's fucking sad, man. I've become an old fucking man. It just happened. It just happened
Yeah.
during the summer. And so I've been doing that, and and then I kind of empathize with the hoarders these days.
Yeah.
You see them, right, and you kind of go, like, especially if they got like if you're in a family or something, they kind of go, they turn up at the place and the place is covered in like full of, there's bags of shit everywhere, and there's like stacks of fucking newspapers, and you're kind of going, why do they live like this? And then you kind of like during the lockdown, I was like, I'm organizing everything, I'm tidying up everything, and then you're kind of going, what are you doing this for? I don't know, what I need left, what I've got left to do, and then your kids are kind of going, the only thing that needs to go now is you.
Yeah.
So
Or
like,
you start thinking maybe they know something we don't know, and they're storing all this stuff away because they knew this pandemic was coming, and they're going to need those 10-year-old fucking newspapers just to make it through.
Kindling, and like and the little Tinder for just like not that I was going to confuse everyone. Still, so okay, Grand Ben Gunn. Well, let's talk about old ways they used to make fire. Oh, don't you? Basically, you need a tinder box and a flint and an iron. That's what they used to use, and then used to like anyway, it's never going to happen, right? But yeah, we just. We have like iPhones for that shit now, isn't it? We just rub two iPhones, an app for that. You just turn the app on, it magnifies something through laser, and it just fucking starts a fire. Or you just write an inflammatory comment on Twitter, and then someone comes around and just sets fire to something, and there you go, it's done.
Yeah, that's the easiest. Yeah, that seems to be the easiest one these days. It's good that you're writing though. Like I think a lot of people are taking a bit of time just to reassess things and get things organised. And I'm not just sitting here sort of like anybody. I think most people are writing. I don't know. You check in with people every now and again, didn't you? But like obviously my girlfriend's a stand-up as well, so Hannah's been writing lots and stuff like that. So that's, you get the old guilt trip, didn't you? Like you start feeling guilty for not having written stuff for a while or something like that. So and that G's you into action again, doesn't it?
Oh man, totally. But it's like that thing, isn't it? As well, you kind of go. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was up and down like a couple of months ago. I was like, oh, just like for fuck's sake, getting any motivation to do anything. I was like, oh, like as soon as lockdown 3 came, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, like just when you're kind of like, and I was like, right, fine. And then I took a bit of time out from everything, and then just like, what, right? You yourself, you don't become one of these people that reads these books, that kind of self-help books, right? But I had a book which was like Getting Things Done. It's called, right? I had it in my fucking my library to read. For I say a library, a fucking pile of books in the corner, and like,
it sounded very grand.
A library, and so like I've like about 10 books. I was like, right, okay, I'm gonna fucking read them. So I got these. This is the last one. I was like, which I finally got around to reading, and you know what? It fucking did help me get through some stuff. I was like, right, okay, got A3 sheet of paper, and put up on the wall. What I need to do, put everything down, and I'm getting some shit done, mate. It was great. It was really good.
Yeah.
But
even the mere cover made you read the actual book in the first place. That's an achievement.
Yeah, this is it. It was like, well, look, you can't. It was just they're judging me by the end of
Yeah,
it. I had it for
yeah.
2 years, you know.
That's the worst thing, isn't it? It's your own like self guilt you've got about like sitting on your ass and not doing anything, and it's so easy to, because your sort of personality and everything is wrapped up with doing stand up. It's so easy when you're not doing it. You know, you've lost like a superpower, haven't you?
Yeah. What am I like? You know. Who
Yeah,
am I
yeah.
now?
You're just a normal bod. You know,
Yeah.
going to work and stuff.
That's it. You know. You know, like even if you have like even with when you have day job, just supplementing it like whatever it is like today I may be this, but in the evening I am you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
What have you been doing to sort of like mentally keep like on it, you know, a little bit?
What, mentally keep on?
Like just on top of things, man. Just like if you've been like, you know, kind of
You
just to
mean
get through.
mental? Do you mean mental health issues, Winter?
No, man. I mean, like, well,
Is
if
this
you,
what-
you can't explain them here the first time. I mean, you probably talked about on your own podcast, the Ben Briggs podcast, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Just all that, you know, mental health stuff. I just I tend to bury it deep down,
Yeah,
Winter,
it's
and
great.
think I'll fucking deal with that in retirement.
That's fine. You'll just you'll leave it fester, and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I mean, you'll go out in a blaze of glory with like some really really debilitating disease. So no one will know what the name of it is, but
Yeah,
you'll go down
yeah.
in history because it'll be your disease.
Yeah, either that or at the top of a bell tower taking pot shots at people. Yeah, I'm pretty all right. I think it's probably not for me to say, really, is it? Whether you're all right mentally or whatever, is it? It's everybody around you who goes, "Fucking hell,
Well,
Jesus Christ."
you know, you come to an age when you kind of start to go, well, actually, I do have some self awareness about who I am. No one has attacked me, you know,
Yeah,
or maybe that's not a good reference point because like maybe doesn't no one has attacked you because they think you're absolutely mental, so they'll leave you the hell alone. So it's
yeah.
like, yeah, it's a double edged sword, isn't it?
Well, you get to you get a little bit, like you say, more self aware.
Yeah.
Like even last night, last night, I got to be at work at 2 o'clock this morning. I went out to see my girlfriend Hannah last night because she's in my bubble. Because I just to clarify that, she's in my bubble because I live on my own.
Yeah.
So it's quite a big bubble.
Yeah.
Ever expanding bubble. I was trying to get a couple of hours kip. It was about 9 o'clock at night. I'm laying in bed. The TV's on down, you know, in the flat downstairs, and it's quite loud. And I just went, fuck this, I'll go and sleep. And it's right underneath the bedroom. So I went, fuck this, I'll go and sleep on the sofa. I just wanted a couple of hours kip. And then as soon as my head hit the pillow on the sofa, the washing machine just started going, woo, 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 woo. And I went, fuck it, I'll go home. But even at that point, I was like, it's not you, honey. You know what I mean? It's just, I just need a couple of hours sleep and stuff like that. It's just a little bit noisy. And, you know, even then, you know, you're still checking yourself, aren't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, you know, whereas a couple of years ago, I suppose I'd have just gone, fuck this, fuck everything, smashed my car up and walked home. I don't know.
Yeah, but like the thing is, like, you know, that kind of thing is like, especially when you're like working nights and stuff, you know, it's just the sleep is the most. You're a fucking zombie. You're just like, oh, like no one understands if they haven't worked nights. You know, the
it's
trauma.
it's tough. Yeah.
It's like, you know, and you're like, you know, just kind of you come a stage when you're like just wishing your life away. I mean, you know what? I was in a job of work nights for about 7 years, and I was like, I was just at the end of it, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go and get a health check because it comes with the job that I have, and I just hope they fucking find something because I fucking hate my life so much right now. I just would rather take the choice of not doing this job anymore out of my hands and just die. Not even a good death. It's just a sad, you know.
This is all giving me inspirational stuff to go to work in the morning, Winter.
Mate, I know,
Thank
mate.
you.
I know. I get it, though. I do. I empathise, man. Look, man.
Yeah, it's
I've worked in fish factories, man. I've worked in quiche factories. It's fuck. Oh man, like all nighters. And like I remember working in a quiche factory in I think it was in Telford or something like it was. And
Yeah.
man, I was surrounded by all these Nigerian guys and girls, and they were like, there's some big Nigerian women there. It's like they were sexy women, you know. And these Nigerian guys I was working with as well. And one guy was like, "Hey man, just give me your phone number, and you know, I want to get into business with you." And I was literally like, he was trying to literally rip me off to my face. which I
Yeah,
found,
yeah.
really
Well,
honest.
these days it would just be an email. At least
You
you
know,
got the personal touch.
that's what I miss. The guy was just like so like looked me in the eye and said, look, just give me your phone number and if you got like your bank details and honestly, I need a bit of money to settle this business. I was like, oh my god, this guy is he's obviously a really good businessman.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's working in a quiche factory with me all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. There's that was like let's say you can get to meet some characters, especially in those environments.
Oh yeah, certainly. Yeah, I've met characters, and I've oddly enough, like you meet some people with totally different views from you, but actually it's not like the internet, so you actually get to know them and actually quite like them. There's a few people I work with there who I get on well with and stuff like that, but it's just it's fucking hard graft. But that's that anyway. That hopefully it's not forever. If this if we all have our jabs and everything, and everybody doesn't keep expanding their bubbles.
Yeah, you gonna have the jab?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well, they're testing it on the old people. That's what they're doing, isn't it? They're testing it on the old people. If they're still alive in 6 months, I don't give a shit. Yeah, I'll take it.
So, and you're doing your own podcast, right? The Ben Briggs Show, right?
The Ben Briggs podcast.
Sorry,
yeah.
Excuse me, Ben Briggs podcast.
I know. Yeah, I don't call it a show. Right. It's just me ranting for about half an hour. Yeah.
Great. And what number are you up to now? How many you done?
185.
Good man. Nice.
The thing is, I've had a few upload issues, so I'm a little bit behind, like with the uploads and stuff like that. But we're getting on top of it next week, so it's not.
That's good, man. That's good. Do you have people on, or just you're ranting for half an hour?
I've had me on various versions of myself, just ranting for half an hour twice a week. I've had Hannah on.
Yeah.
And that's it. The thing is, I've got it all set up in my house, and I don't like people around my house.
No, fair. Yeah. That's fair.
So this is ideal for me, Winter. This,
mate, this is. I love this. I love just like this. I love actually just sitting at home having doing a podcast like this. You can just be yourself.
Yeah, because you can't tell them to fuck off, can you? Without thanks, at the end of this winter, you can just go, see you later, bang, and cut me off, can't you? Yeah. Whereas if somebody's round your house, afterwards you've got to go, oh, do you want a cup of tea? And inevitably they'll say yes. And then you've got to go, oh, fucking hell, I've got to use my water and electric to give you a drink and make you more comfortable when I want you to feel uncomfortable and leave. Yeah, that's so, right. But thanks for being on the podcast. There you go.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. So when did you start, Ben?
Well, I did my first gig 2017. And then that was, I'd been thinking about doing it for a while, and my parents knew somebody who owned a working men's club.
Sorry, 2017 you said?
No, sorry, 2007. Sorry. Yeah, fucking hell. Jesus. 10 years, what's that? That's nothing. Yeah, my parents knew somebody who owned a working men's club, and I had no way of getting into it or no way of doing what. And I just thought, fuck it, I'll just do a spot there, which was pretty horrendous. Yeah, right. And then I Googled getting into stand-up or whatever, and then did a weekend sort of write-in thing, but they put you in for a gig at the end of it in London through Laughing Horse, I think it was. Yeah, Laughing Horse. And it was their competition. They used to do a new act of the year competition thing. So I did that and got through, and it went well. Nice. And the next gig I died on my ass. So and then the journey begins, doesn't it? That's it. That's it.
So the first gig you did was in a working men's club.
Yeah, it's fucking horrendous.
Well,
yeah,
tell me about this. This is without standard. You just went for it. I love it. You just went up there without any before the course. You went right. I'm doing this.
Yeah, because I needed to make a few changes, and and I just thought, fuck it, I'll do it. And I did 5 minutes, and before they brought me on, they announced a buffet. Which it's got everything bad about it. Yeah. I did 5 minutes to people queuing up in a buffet. Oh man. Basically. So that was pretty bad.
You can't compete with a buffet.
I know it was the Volivons. If it wasn't for the Volivons, I'd have smashed the shit out of that gig.
You know what? No one is interested in comedy when there's a free buffet there to just be demolished.
Exactly. When there's when there's food going. If people are hungry and there's food going, I imagine Ethiopia in the 80s would have been a fucking tough gig.
Big time, man. Big time.
Yeah.
That's it. Hey, but it's for charity. It's for charity this week, guys. Please, what? No, sorry, mate. I'm
the ultimate charity gig.
Yeah. And like, so do you remember your first joke?
No, not really. I think it was, what everybody does, don't it? They do something about their appearance, or they do something about where they come from, saying their hometown's a shit town.
Yeah.
You see, everybody does that, don't they?
Yeah.
Because you think you need to comment on what you look like. People still do that.
Yeah.
Like, who have been going years and stuff, still do the joke about what they look like because it's an easy gag to get in with the audience, isn't it?
That's right.
And the audience go, oh, he can laugh at himself. Maybe he's all right. And sometimes I don't want the audience to think I'm all right.
Yeah. Like, I remember seeing you, like...
You don't do a joke about your appearance, do you, Winter? Sorry. If you do.
Do you know what, right? I have actually started to build one in.
Have you?
But because, do you know what, right? I don't know what you're right. I think you've got, like, you have, like, quite a sinister appearance as well if you don't, like, laugh or smile, I found that when I go up there, sometimes... I'd have a very, like, I can look quite stern and, like, annoyed if I don't smile. And so, like, I'd be like, I went up there a while ago, like, fucking while ago, 2 years ago now, innit? Fuck's sake. Jesus Christ, it feels like 2 years. I went up and I was doing a gig and there was this woman who went on before me and she did the middle-aged, I'm the token middle-aged woman on the bill, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, great. And then so I went up and after her and I was like, and I didn't, and so I didn't say anything, but so I was like, well, welcome Sage, Winter Fun, and I went up, and then they just went silent. And I was like,
because they thought you just looked too stern.
Yeah, I went, so I said, I get it. I said, I know that when I came up here, 99% of you went, no.
Yeah.
That kind of, just because I look so stern and they're not warm in any way, but it's just my face, like. So and they all laughed. I was like, brilliant. Now I know what it is. I wasn't just testing if it was correct. And so now I've built that sort of into the sort of like the anchor, if you like, to the beginning.
It sort of like offsets that sort of like that look, that natural look that you've got.
Yeah. The first impression, isn't it? That's what they go for. But so like you have quite a stern appearance as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm quite comfortable with that silence though. I don't mind that because it goes with like the material I do on stage anyway.
Yeah,
I always start pretty badly, to be honest. You know what I mean? And I just think I'm gonna fucking start badly anyway. So why should I be likable?
Yeah, why worry about it, huh?
Yeah, and then like try and drag them into what I want to talk about.
Yeah, nice. A great example of that is the one when we did that gig in Nottingham for NCF, and you went on. It was just after the Charlie Hebdo thing.
Fucking hell, yeah.
And you did a great. There was a great joke you did on it, but brilliant. It was fucking brilliant. And that guy who's in the audience says, "No, gonna have to punch you for that, mate."
Yeah. I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Yeah. It's like
he announced it. He announced it to a fucking audience of about 120 people.
Totally. Like he thought he had everyone with him, didn't he? It's like it's like, no, dude. Like no one wants to see that. No one wants to see you punch somebody else in the face, and it's just a joke. Like
he came up to the stage as well, didn't he?
That's right. You're like, no, mate, don't come up here. And I was like, it's a very tense moment.
Yeah, but I tell you what, that guy was a complete shitbag. Because he come out the stage and he didn't even throw a punch, and I sort of like pushed him off the stage, and then he went down in the interval. I didn't know about this until like at the end of the night. He went down in the interval, complained to the management that I had tried to assault him.
Oh, what a little
when he walked from the back of the room to try and punch me in the face.
No, and enough witnesses there saw him say that. The guy actually had no internal monologue. It's just like.
He was just drunk. Yeah, he was just drunk and thought he needed to be more offended than he was. Yeah, I forget what the line was. It was something like, it was going on about obviously the Charlie Hebdo thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And thinking that like some of the cartoons or something looked a little bit racist and they weren't that funny. Just on a comedic basis alone, I think they deserve to be shot. and it was it was
But
at that
the line
point,
that I
think.
remember from it was which was excellent. It was, he said, it's like, well, they always gone on about the pen is mightier than the sword.
Yeah.
Well, they had pens there, didn't they?
Yeah. That
It
was
was great.
it was something like that, wasn't it?
Great
It was
line.
like, yeah, I don't know.
Right, it was a great line. It was great, and he just didn't see the humor in it. It was funny. It was fucking funny. Have you had any more interactions or potential altercations in your
Yeah, I've had
career?
2 more people try and punch me
Oh,
since then.
what?
That was the first time. That was the first time. He was a fucking visionary, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had twice again for NCF actually.
Oh,
oddly
what?
enough, that was when I was that was when I was comparing a night, and within a minute and a half, that's my personal best. Within a minute and a half,
Wow.
somebody had tried to mount the stage and punch me.
Wow. What the fuck? Why? Why?
I don't know.
What
I've
did
just,
you?
I've just got that look. People
Right.
say, "Is he stern or should I punch him?"
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Wow.
So that was, yeah. So, and then there was another guy after that as well who's tried it.
Yeah.
And then various other people throwing glasses and bottles and things. It sounds fucking horrendous, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's enjoyable. But
Yeah.
that was for NCF. So I was comparing that night as well.
Uh-huh.
How to win the crowd over Winter. Right there. And I didn't do that thing. Oh well, your first act is I fucking stood there and made it more fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah. Nice.
For everybody else.
That's great, man.
I think I evicted him from. I think I evicted the guy from the stage by actually grabbing his nuts.
Yeah.
I think I grabbed his nuts and his collar and just pushed him off the fucking stage again. And then that was at a rugby club or something like that. But Jesus.
Well, you've got some moves, like that's it. You got an arsenal to deal with that. I mean, there's some people have heckle put downs. You've got some chokeholds and some fucking grind strikes.
Not really. Let's not make this a regular thing. It's not really what I want to do. Just be like, throwing people off the stage. But I must admit, I don't like that. I don't like it if people try and step on the stage and that sort of thing. Like because you get that alpha male sort of like, people see you, like with a skinhead and stuff like that, and you get that alpha male thing going on, don't you?
Yeah, and it's like, and you want to bring them with you and not terrify them, really, isn't it?
Yeah, but you also want to stay in charge as well. You know what I mean? There is people who are always going to push that, and you've got to make them aware that the stage area is my area. You can say what you want when you're sitting in your seat if you want to. I prefer you didn't, but I can handle that. But you don't get up on stage. No.
Do you think it's that gig? It's the fact that it's £1,
It was this one was in a rugby club,
so
they booked me for it in a rugby club. So it was obviously, which is a little bit of a different dynamic because they all know each other, don't they? So it's different dynamic from a normal gig. That gig, actually, the one in NCF, the one at the Canal House, is a really good gauge of material, I find.
Yeah.
Because you get a lot of different age groups in there. You get a lot of different genders in there, races. And it's a good one across the board. If you've got new material and it goes well there, it's a good sign. I always think that.
The glasses and stuff thrown at you. Was it just?
Yeah. Was Jongleurs. That was Portsmouth.
Right, Portsmouth Jongleurs. It's not going anymore, is it?
No. They closed all the Jongleurs down.
Are they starting up again? Did I hear something?
Yeah, I think like they've started doing touring shows or something like that, haven't they? But Portsmouth was notoriously fucking shit. That was the night, actually. That was a good few years ago. That was the night I was doing. I think I'd done a couple of tryouts in Birmingham, and Julia was going to be at that gig, the booker, and that was the night she was at the gig, and the first time she'd sort of like come down to see me at one of her clubs. Yeah, some woman went mental and started throwing wine glasses at me.
Oh, Jesus.
I know.
And did she obviously booked you from that? So well, you can deal with.
Yeah. She said, "He's the type of act we need, with smashed glass all over the floor. That's the sort of environment we want for our clubs."
Yeah, he can deal with it. He knows the clientele. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, I dealt with it all right, to be fair.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, she was really lovely about it. But yeah, some of those Jongleurs gigs were pretty good actually. But some of them were a bit of a nightmare.
And like you've been nominated for the Midlands Comedy Awards a few times now.
Yeah, I've never won it.
Like 3 times, right?
Yeah, let's not get carried away. I've never won it.
It's all right. Still, it's nice to take
and
part,
it is
right?
the Midlands. It's not like the UK. You know what I mean?
No, still, it's an award of some kind, isn't it? It's like, it's not massive.
It means I think it basically means you've spoke to a few people at gigs who have started after you.
Yeah.
So they will inevitably vote for you because they want to be your friend and think you can get better gigs for them.
Got you.
And when you can't get better gigs for them, the next year they'll vote for somebody else.
Okay, fine. It's nepotism, right? This is a nepotism
Yeah, that's
award.
basically it.
Great,
Yeah,
great. That's fine. The Midlands Nepotism Award. That's nice.
yeah, that's basically it. I think.
It was good. It was good chat. It was good at chatting to him after the gig. That was great. Yeah, we had a great car journey that one time.
Yeah.
But you were.
I don't do car journeys, man. I don't do car shares.
No, why not?
Oh, fuck that. It's like the same thing of inviting somebody around your house to do a podcast. You're stuck with somebody else. You can't do what you want. I haven't done a car share in years, mate. In years, because I just got to the stage where I'll tell you what it is. What annoys me, somebody will say, "Oh, you're going down the M6. Can you drop me in Birmingham?" And you're like, "Yeah, no problem. I'll drop you in Birmingham on the way back from Northampton." I did this when I first started. Yeah. And you drop them in Birmingham, they're tucked up in bed. Then you drive half an hour outside of Birmingham. 2 hours later, you get home. They're fast asleep. You've got no petrol money or anything, and you've had to listen to them try and material out on you for like 3 hour car journey. And I was like, "Fuck this! This is Yeah. I politely decline these days."
You were finalist in the English Comedian of the Year.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah, that was quite good.
That's good, man.
That was quite nice to do. Yeah, down in London and that sort of thing. The final, that was all right.
You don't remember the first joke you did at your first gig, but you remember the first joke you wrote after you did the course?
I didn't. To be honest, when I did that weekend thing for the Laughing Horse, they said come down with 5 minutes of like. Is that what you meant?
Like, I mean, do you remember the first joke you wrote? Like that, you went, okay, that's a good joke. Now that's going in the set. Big closer.
I remember the first joke. I thought I'm going in a better direction. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because like everything just like, when I did that Laughing Horse course or whatever for the weekend and they put you in for you basically do the Saturday where they go through your material and that you have to go down with 5 minutes or whatever. And they said, don't change anything. Like that was the feedback from the guys who did it. And you're like, oh, really? Oh, thank you. And then you realise that the people who run the course are full of shit anyway. And they're just lying about how much they earn. And within 6 months, you'll be doing better gigs than they're doing. Or a year maybe, or 2 years, you know what I mean? But I remember the first bit of stuff that I thought was more authentic was only like more authentically my voice was probably only a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, really. Like where you think like this is really what I want to say and stuff like that. I wrote a bit about race and that sort of thing. Yeah. And I thought this is the sort of stuff I want to do, and everything else because you write a new bit and you try and stretch yourself with it, and everything else you just think, oh, that's a load of fucking shit. Yeah. That's right. Everything else you've wrote before because I've wrote this bit now, and this is, and I think like that. It was good, it was funny, and it made a point. Yeah. And it wasn't just aren't all races bad sort of a point, and it took risks as well. It was and other acts sort of like it went badly one night, and other acts think that's what you are. You're the one who tries to be edgy or something like that. And I was like, no, I'm sure I'm onto something. And I fucking worked hard with that material and got it to work. Right. Yeah, that's the first bit I thought. Really honestly thought that's a fucking good bit. That is.
That's it, man. I say you shed skins on the way, don't you? You just kind of go, that's it. That nugget there. That's what I need to build my entire set around. That kind of same ethos.
Yeah, or that's my viewpoint. You're sharing a viewpoint rather than your own viewpoint, rather than just reinforcing what the audience already think. Because there's certain things, isn't it? Like the whole Trump's an idiot or whatever. Well, it's complicated, that statement. He can't be that much of an idiot. He made it to be, president of the United States.
That's right.
He had a goal and he achieved it.
Yeah, that's...
You know, I mean, what he says is, you know, is mental at times and stuff like that. But he fucking did it, didn't he? So, you know, nothing's, and I think issues, you know, nothing's black and white, is it? There's always grey areas, but we seem to forget about the grey area these days.
Yeah, that's true, man. Yeah, showing the good points of like anything for absolute comedy value is the most richest area to mine. You just go fully into the wrong version and just mine the hell out of that. But the good things of the wrong thing is such a great vein to keep digging.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a contrarian anyway, you know what I mean? And go and just try and look at things from all angles and things like that. And, you know, and I tried to do that in not go down that route, the obvious route with some of my stuff, and just be honest. I think that's it. Like people say, you know, people have said, oh, you do edgy stuff or dark stuff. Well, it's not really. It's just being honest about, you know, the way I feel about things.
How many shows have you done, Ben? Have you done like a lot of one-man shows, or?
Yeah, I've done Leicester quite a lot. I've never been up to Edinburgh, but I've done Leicester since about, I think I first did a show about 3 years after I started, 3 or 4 years after I started, I think.
Yeah.
And I've done it every year at the Cookie.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Great venue. It's a fucking great venue. It's lovely. Downstairs, low ceilings, dark. Yeah, it's just, it's great. And I do it pretty much the same time every year. I was meant to be doing it fucking Sunday. But obviously they said, do you want to do it online? You know, like the Leicester Comedy Festival say, you know, do you want to do it online? No, I don't. I want to do it in front of a live audience, like it's meant to be done.
That's right. The feedback, it's just like there's no comparison at all, is there?
No, not at all. I've not done a Zoom gig, so I'm talking without any knowledge of what it's like. But I've watched them and they look fucking shit.
There's no joy in them. Even if you can get the audience feedback, it's even delayed. So you're like, you know, waiting for the line. It's like line to drop. You're like, how long do I got to wait here? How fast is everyone's internet connection? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, really? At the mercy. Plus the fact, for me, Winter, there's no jeopardy.
That's right.
You know, unless somebody gets offended by a joke and then knocks on my door and tries to punch me in the face, I'm not interested.
You want the combative, physical danger. I love it. That's it. The literally, you can die at a gig. You can literally die, not just die, but die physically. I love it.
Yeah.
That's it. The scars. You want the story. I mean, you go. Oh, I had this really good Zoom gig the other day.
It's great. Yeah, you know, at least send me a fucking virus on my computer or something. If you don't like a fucking joke and you're offended by it.
Totally, man. Like that's it. It's like that's what it's for. We're doing it for it. That's the instant gratification of you know, just things working, right? It's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and the timing of it, and your timing. You know, you wait for the laughter to die down, and you know, things happening in the room. Not that, you know, I'm pretty, you know, versatile when it comes to, you know, like going off if things happen in the room. But like, you wait for the laugh to end, and then bang, you hit them with another punchline, and it's all of that. It's like conducting an orchestra. Isn't it? You know, you sort of like wait for it all to die down, then you hit another line, then you wait for that laugh, and you might do another side that you think of on the spot and stuff like that. And you know, it's all of that thing, and you're constantly thinking, your brain's going at 100 miles an hour, and I ain't going to get that from sitting in front of my laptop. You know, looking at pictures of people. What do they, you know, not even applauding, like, you know, doing jazz hands or something when they like a fucking joke.
It's a very odd vibe, but. So what's the name of your shows that you took to Leicester?
This year's one was going to be not everybody's cup of tea, because it came from somebody who reviewed last year's show.
Nice.
And I thought, that's not bad. It sums it up actually. Yeah. I've had various ones. I can't off the top of my head. I think my first show was 4 years in, so I didn't really know what I was doing, and it was called All Growed Up or something like that. Or I think last year's show was called I Just Said That or something like that.
Nice.
That's right. Oh yeah, that's right. I just said that or something like that. Something like that. You can see I don't really take much investment in the titles, but you just try and get across that, you know, like that it's not going to be talking about, stuff that's in my kitchen cupboard at home,
The man
or things like that, or man drawer, or that sort of thing, or what it's like to mow a fucking garden.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
comparisons of mowing the garden and hair.
yeah, using a fly mower and a fucking strimmer. You know what I mean?
I mean,
It's not going to be that sort of thing.
we're
You
going to
just
see all
want to.
these these tropes now in the open mic circuit now popping up. We're like, oh my god, what the fuck? He's talking about lawnmower. Where'd you get that from?
Yeah, exactly.
Fly
Cutting
mower,
edge, literally.
how
Yeah.
original. And then it's going to be like, at Edinburgh, the Pleasance, fucking sold out.
I know, that'll be it. The lawnmower guy goes
Yeah,
on
that's
stage
it.
with
Oh,
fucking
that
loads of
Michael showed the
lawnmowers and he's
best.
milking it. Yeah.
Mate, it's great. And,
But yeah, it's going to be hopefully have a little bit more thought in there and approach subjects that not everybody talks about.
right. Like you got like reviewed in Leicester many times, I'm sure. What you got like what was your stars? You got what? Tell me what you loved.
They don't really give you stars. I've never been reviewed by like that fucking who's that prick who does Chortle or whatever that guy.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is, I did obviously for the competition ones and stuff like that. I just, I don't. This review was from a punter, so it's actually quite nice.
Yeah.
Like, who came down with a load of people, and it was a nice review, just his own sort of thing that somebody forwarded to me or whatever. But I don't take much stock in review, to be honest. I've read like some reviews about me and just think, oh, is that really what I'm like? I don't know, man, really. I thought I was trying to do something else than that.
Obviously didn't get it. Like, that's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, some people don't, but like, and, I don't know, like, people who you respect on the circuit is a nicer review when you come off than not that there's that many people I respect on the circuit, but the odd one or two.
Yeah.
No. But, somebody coming off and going, that was a nice bit, or that's a nice premise, or something like that.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. From someone who's like wizened, like Yoda of the circuit, like you're gonna go, oh, okay, thank you. Like been on the circuit like 20 years. You go, thanks for that.
Yeah, but even those sort of people, like sometimes you think there's not loads of people where I've been on the circuit and gone, fucking hell, they're good. You know what I mean? There's not loads and loads where I've honestly thought they're fucking great.
Yeah.
There's been a couple.
You can name a couple if you go, yeah, these guys.
The last time I saw Incognito, I said this to Hannah, my girlfriend. Yeah. Do I have to keep saying that? Do I have to keep saying that? I don't know. I said that to Hannah when I did a gig. I did Jay Handley's gig at Fat Penguin, and he done that gig in Birmingham. It's a nice gig. Yeah. It wasn't long before he died, to be honest, and I think he quit drinking, and he was sitting on a bar stool on stage, and he had beard and that sort of thing, and he was a lot less. He was always quite theatrical and dynamic in the way he did, and it took the energy level right down, and it was Carlin-esque.
Yeah,
his performance that night. I was standing at the back and going, and I gigged with him loads of times before that, and I always thought it was good, but it seemed a bit theatrical and a little bit like over the top and a little bit stage schooly, like, and just too much. But like when he was sitting on a bar stool and just like saying all his stuff, he kind of crossed over to becoming philosophical rather than just stand up.
Right.
And he had stuff I hadn't heard before, and I thought, fucking hell, that was good. And there's not loads of people. The more you do stand up, there's less people who have that effect on you, I think. Don't you find that?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Like, I think that's like there's, when there's some people you have a sort of a gravitational pull to them with their comedy, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I think there's one, like Sean Mio, I think is an excellent comedian. Like, when you see him do stuff. Have you seen him do stuff?
No, I've seen. He used to be on telly a bit years ago, didn't he? But
That's
I've not seen him live. No.
Like, he's solid, man. Just when he's like I was emceeing down in Plymouth a couple of years ago, about 4 years ago now, and Sean Mio was on the bill, and so I was driving car journey down there, and the B bar, and I was emceeing. It was going great. Everyone was like, it was just a hot crowd, really having loads of fun, and opening act did great. I was emceeing. It was really good fun, and then the middle acts did great, and then Sean Mio finished the night off and just was solid, you know.
Yeah.
And just was like, you know, you just kind of, there was no moment when there was like, oh yeah, well that didn't quite, you know, it was just nonstop, the energy, and you know how we're talking about like how that demeanor of like the stern, or the sort of like the you know, the fake, not fake, but the just the this glacial angst, if you like.
Yeah.
You know, within a person, but with a playfulness that the
Yeah,
audience
yeah.
know it's fun, and it's just a bit of fun. You know, we're just having fun here. We're just fucking talking shit. Like, life's a fucking joke anyway. And it's that he played with it such a great level that when that gig finished, you could feel the room was electric. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like, and I haven't seen that at many gigs in the last, well, best part of 10 years I'm doing it, that happened. You know, the audience walked away and went, "We saw something tonight." You know,
Yeah.
that's it.
That's the idea, isn't it?
Mm.
That's the idea, to do that, and you use your skills to get to that stage,
Yeah.
whatever that is. And
That's it.
I think that's why I'm not really bothered about, you know, like walking on and wanting the audience to like me instantly, because because I think I can, I always think I can get there. I don't care if they don't like me as soon as I go on.
Yeah.
You want them to, because it'll be easier, won't it?
Yeah, of course.
It's going to be a lot easier.
Yeah.
But like, you just think, well, this is the way I'm going to go about it. They either come on board or they don't come on board.
Yeah.
But having that attitude as well on stage of, you either come on board with me or you don't, that's appealing to an audience.
Oh yeah.
People
God.
respect that, and they go, actually, and then they want to be in your gang. Instead of you going on stage and you going, I want to be in your gang.
Yeah.
You turn that mentality around where they're like, oh, I want to be with this guy. I want to be with this guy.
Absolutely.
I want to follow him and stuff like that. So
that's right, man. You're aloof. Who doesn't, like, everyone wants aloof.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. That's it. They want to be your friends. Like, what? I've got no friends.
Yeah, you don't want to roll over and expose your belly to be tickled. Like, it's easier. You always. With a dog or something like that, you're always like the dog that won't come over straight away. You're like, come on.
Yeah.
And you start chasing them, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
And it's a weird sort of like mental mindset, but it's sort of like, it seems to work.
That's the dynamic, man. That's for sure. So, okay, ask this question to everyone having the podcast then. When you go up on stage, what do you see yourself as? Like, do you have a model in your own mind that you go, okay, like, it could be a trade, it could be a imaginary animal, beast, you name it, whatever it is that you potentially see yourself as. Okay, the example we talked about a minute ago, Sean Mio sees himself as a gun for hire, goes around the country destroying audiences.
Right.
But if you have one, it's a difficult question, I know. Take a moment if you think.
I don't know, really, to be honest. Yeah, it's a difficult question, what you see yourself as on stage. without fucking
disappearing up your own arse.
Exactly. That's the thing. I see myself as a prophet, Winter.
No, mate. Look, you've got your own show, the Ben Briggs podcast.
It's the fucking most narcissistic fucking title out there, isn't it? Hey, it's the Ben Briggs podcast. Nobody else's. Innit?
So, like, mate, you just go for it, man. Honestly, go all the way up there, man. Honestly, like,
definitely. Of course, I see myself as that. Yeah. I'm not saying the audience see yourself as some sort of like philosophical fucking god coming out with shit and approaching subjects, too hot to handle, man. I fucking see myself as that. Of course, I do. Or I wouldn't be getting up there doing the sort of like material I do. Yeah. But not all audiences feel the same way, unfortunately, Winter.
Okay, well, can you condense that? I've had PCSOs on here, right? This someone said I see myself as a PCSO. I feel
PCSO.
Like
Police Community Support Officer.
That's
Jesus, right. That's bleak.
And I've had IT technician, like level 1 support IT technician. So, like, you do be whoever you are, man. Like,
I sort of see myself, that scene in Gladiator where he's just, like, wiped out about loads of people in the ring. He throws the sword, says, are you not entertained? Yeah. Are you not entertained? Yeah?
Yeah.
I see myself as the sword being hurtled towards the fucking people sitting down, drinking wine around the edge.
Yeah.
I think that's how I sort of, like, see myself. to condense it down into that. I don't see myself as a PCSE or a fucking lollipop lady or a traffic warden or anything like that. Something like that, I imagine.
So,
I don't know. It's a difficult one without disappearing up your ass, but you know.
No, that's fine, man. Like, no, honestly, like, so you're like a blade that cuts through the
cuts through the shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Which is what I think is the job of a stand-up comedian.
That's good. That's good.
To cut through the shit and get to the truth in whatever form that may be, whether it's about race or religion or lawnmowers.
I mean, the lawnmower is just not as cool as it really. Like, it's just not as cool. No way.
Yeah, I kind of find, everybody starts off, and you do stuff where you look back and you go, oh fucking hell, that was a bit lame. You know what I mean?
Of course, man.
But I just want something more, and I think like if I'm using my time on stage now, I'm not afraid of the silences. You get. When you first start off, you're afraid of the silences, but now you kind of like them sometimes because it's all right. We can get through it the other side. Things that do annoy me is when people say, "Oh, we don't want any swearing or stuff like that. Can you keep your language?" You fucking book me, You book me. You know what I do. What are you?
What are you thinking?
Why are you suddenly 2 minutes before I go on stage saying like, "Can you keep your language to a minimum?" No, this is how I talk.
Have you written anything else? Like, are you interested in writing any sitcoms or anything like this, or are you like just pure stand-up? Or
I write ideas and for things down, and I've got a few ideas that I've been working on. Yeah. Just roughing out ideas and that sort of thing. And I know it's getting the time to do it a little bit, but hopefully in a few months' time and things like that, things will get a little bit easier, time-wise and things like that. It's just getting around to it. It's very difficult at the moment because you're back to working long hours and things like that again. 8 hours a day or whatever. You get home, it's a physical job, and you're knackered. But you try and put things aside. And to be honest, like having a girlfriend who also does stand-up, bounce ideas. You're kind of writing stuff all the time. Without even knowing it, when you're talking about stuff, and we help each other out quite a bit with just being a sounding board, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's nice to have that with somebody who you actually respect as a writer, and who's creative and whose opinion you respect as well, and you can just run things by, like on phone conversations or whatever, or when you sit next to each other or whatever.
That's great. And like also,
it's a good resource.
Also, I guess she keeps you match fit as well, so she throws glasses at you and
she does.
To punch you quite often.
Yeah, when I'm asleep or something like that, just punches me in my sleep and says, "Should have blocked it."
That's it. Keeping up on the the cardio.
Yeah.
Nice. You're doing your podcast and you're just like you got a girlfriend and you're like bouncing ideas off, and that just sounds wrong there.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? How about this tonight, sweetheart? No, we ain't trying that. Okay, it's just bouncing an idea off you.
You're writing the show, Not Everyone's Cup of Tea, and you're going to try and take that anywhere else as well, apart from Leicester, because Leicester's gone now, right?
Yeah, well, it would have been this coming up this Sunday. Valentine's Day, it would have been. Yeah, I'm gonna scrub it up a bit, get it. I'm going to hammer new material nights as soon as we can. Just hammer new material nights. Not really give a shit about doing paid gigs because I've got a load of ideas that I just want to try out. Get that up to speed, and then do that. I'm not really one for having a narrative arc through a show. I know fucking everybody up at Edinburgh, critics and that, cream their knickers over that shit.
Yeah.
But I'm not really like that. The stand-ups I like, which is mainly the American stand-ups, to be honest. I think they're way ahead of us over here. They don't do that. They don't do a narrative.
Yeah, just funny.
They do bits that are funny, and that's the way I always wanted to do it. I don't want to do a narrative fucking thing and hit 45 minutes. 6 months before before Edinburgh or whatever, people go, I haven't got an M for my show, and then they're fucking
Right,
parents, a parent falls sick, and they're like, "Oh, fucking great!
Yeah,
This is it, baby. Come
a
on."
death. Finally, that's it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Like, no, just write a fucking joke, man, innit? Just write a fucking joke and put the best
Stop
joke at the end.
praying
That's
that
it.
your relatives will die so you can fucking get a decent review.
Wishing your family dead. I mean, that is not
Yeah.
a fucking way to live your life, is it? Really, that's it.
No.
Just before Edinburgh, just for sake, wishing a relationship to get destroyed or just sabotage.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Come on.
Just so you could, just have something else to talk about other than playing the old sympathy cards.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. Pity fucking party, man. That's what it is all the time. Don't join it. Don't join the pity party. So yeah, that's it. Well, hopefully, man, and you can keep your sanity with the work in the nights, mate. And yeah, man. Ben, where can we find you?
I am. I'm in the online department. I've got a website, benbriggs.co.uk. I post all my shit up there, or my podcast on everywhere you get podcasts, in it, Apple and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, Ben Briggs podcast and benbriggs.co.uk, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, Ben, thanks for coming on the show, man. It's been a pleasure to catch up with
you.
No
worries, mate.
This has been like a more or less a Samaritan's catching up with comedians and seeing how you're getting on and not fucking talking.
Yeah, that's it, innit?
Yeah, man. Well, thanks, Ben, mate. Real pleasure.
No worries. Take care, man.
And that was episode 103 with the excellent Ben Briggs. He's Midlands based, so if you're in that neck of the woods and you want to go see some comedy, go and check him out. And if you've seen him before, no two shows are the same. He takes a lot of risks, he does a lot of crowd work, and he's absolutely got some killer punchlines. So go and check him out. Ben Briggs, he's got his own website, benbriggs.co.uk, and he's also got his own podcast called The Ben Briggs Show. So go follow him on those places, and if you see him on a bill, go and check him out. You will not be disappointed. He's excellent. And that's it for this episode. And if you like this podcast, you want to donate, you can. Go to Patreon, type in The Comedy Defect Podcast. You can donate as much as you feel this podcast is worth. And if you can't donate, that's okay. Just tell your friends about your favourite episode because it tells people where we are and what we're up to. We have a Facebook page, you can like that. We have a group, you can join that as well. You can also follow me on social media at Winter Dominus. I've had some great gigs recently and I'm match fit after the big sort of virus cease and desist. So I'm really on form now. So if you want to come see me and see some new jokes I've been working on, I've been having fun with it right now. So go check it out at Winter Dominus for all the places that I'm playing. Also run a gig in Hemel Hempstead if you want to come down to see that. Some excellent headliners as well as myself just holding all together. So that's it. This is 103rd episode. Next month, we've got an excellent comedian, another Midlands comedian, Craig Deely. So at the end of November, until then, have a great Halloween. We'll see you at the end of November.